Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FoolTopia here in City Skylines. Last episode guys, we kind of initiated the downtown layout of our brand new metropolis area. I've done a little bit of work since last episode to kind of lay out a little bit more of the foundations. We've done a couple of bridges to go over the potential kind of river that we've got running through. Done a few little small lanes. And we're going to see where this goes. So today we're going to get the first people to move in, shop, and work in our metropolis area. It's going to be beautiful. So as always guys, if you enjoy FoolTopia and want to see more, then please make sure you smash that like button down below. And if you're new around here, make sure you do subscribe. So this is what I've done. It looks a little bit weird and a little bit confusing. And like what's going on here, something looks really weird. But I've kind of followed this big 6-lane road around the boundaries, and eventually we'll kind of smoothen it all off and push the terrain right against it. Might even include a key wall in there so you can kind of, you know, as if this was a man-made ring road going around the edge, which would be pretty nice. And we probably do the same on that side too. So it really is that height of, like, you know, the infrastructure has been built upon this land and we've pushed it to the very boundaries of the land. What I've also done as well, I've made this little road here go underneath the highway, splits there and goes that way, left and right, which will be over bridges to this side as well. So we got to think of the connections over there, which elevates over this underneath this ring road here, which we'll kind of use to pull in stuff there and there to kind of keep this roads kind of slightly free and whatnot. We'll see how things rock and roll. But I've also thought as well, if I can do it and if I can manage some kind of turn off here both sides, we could implement that to here, so then they could come down here, turn off there onto this ring road which pulls around both sides, which doesn't cause traffic in the downtown area. It's a weird one. I'll have to think about that one, see how it goes. But look at then the 4-lane roads in, it's to kind of split the 6 lanes, so we're creating that grid effect. And today we can go the lanes in and try and get a couple of grids all up and running, zoned out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Got the little bit of electric wire coming down. It's a stretch, but just for the sake of getting electricity down here, we're kind of making some sweet progress. So before we go any further then, why don't we quickly, as best as I can, and as best as I can I mean as much as I can be bothered, because I hate doing water pipes, we'll quickly just like get in some type of water structure in here. So keep it going round, boom, 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 boom. Come on, boy, let's keep it going. So granted it is, if I do this line going through, then at least the water can pass through, no issues. There we go. And yeah, that's all we need kind of covering up for now. So if I come right over here, I'm going to do a simple connection, the quickest and shortest one, there we go. Then we have water in this area. That's all we kind of bothered about right now. Electricity is there, but we'll get that in when we finish doing a lot of the other roads in. Now, we got some nice little tree avenues here. We got the big 6-lane roads with the grass on the side as well. I'm trying to think what we should do for the single lane roads. Do I go down the tree route as well? Make it like we could make it like a really nice area, couldn't we? We could. Right, what's the spacing going across then? We got 40, so 20 in the middle. Okay, so let me just delete all that again. So already that is 8. So if I go by 12, 20 by 20 by 20 by 20, because it's an 80 by 80, which creates then a 40 by 40, which creates then a 20 by 20. Genius! And then from that, we go off and create more grids. So we pretty much are going to that full extent of building this metropolis on a fully functional grid. We have the 6-lane roads, merge the 4-lane with the single lane, so the traffic has its ways of getting to places a whole lot easier. So if we went down that route then, and how would we do that then? Well, obviously, we'd then inside of it do 10 by 10 pockets. So that kind of maximizes the majority of it. Now you could argue, well, to maximize it, I've got to get these squares, creating that. Well, that's creating too many stop and starts for traffic trying to pass through. So we'll just kind of go down this route. There we go, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. Nice. Right, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And I think I'm going to leave the public transport for one of the last, well, I say last things as if I'm not going to get it in. But I will get it in, but I'm trying to think what the best route to do. Now, I could integrate a tram route, but then again, I could integrate a really, really good metro subway system, which will kind of alleviate all of the pedestrian traffic, if that makes sense. Yeah. Right, anyway. We'll come to that stage later on anyway. So let's kind of go all the way across here. Let me go by 20 and then straight down, just so I can get the markers. I know where I'm going. So 20 by 20 straight down there. Right, and finalize all these off then. So just imagine when we got the huge skyscrapers and all that kind of jazz around here. How beautiful, how crazy it's going to be with the contrast of the highway running through. Now, granted, we can't do everything that we want in all of these areas. Where's the point for this? Hold on. If that came across there to there. Okay, it does stick over. I got a little bit confused there for a second with what was going on. So I can't do the full... Oh, am I about to do it to this one? This one we might be able to get away. Yeah, that kind of kills off that there. So some areas we'll be able to get away with it, some areas no. Like this here, I probably won't go underneath there, that's fine. This one we can create a pass through down to here. And we're only really going to be able to get this area here, kind of like it. But that's cool, that's quite creates the, you know, the differences of the areas, and that is quite a pretty looking grid. It's quite uniform, but think about, like, you know, metropolis areas like, you know, New York or, you know, San Francisco, for example. You know, big city areas that compact in a small space. They're all just grids, really, aren't they? But we're trying to make some kind of effort to do some type of, you know, layout to ease traffic. Because, like, guy, if you lived here, for example, you'll come out to there. You're on a 4-laner, which is quick to get to a 6-laner. And if you're on here, rather than you want to go up here to use the same road, you come out there or possibly this way. So we're giving them many, many options in which they can escape from. So water's in. Electricity will be in when I connect it over. So we're ready to get our first few peeps over here. I think so. But we're going to work out as well then how I want to zone it. Now, we have the huge highway running through, which I don't suppose it shows noise pollution. Is that how you do noise pollution? Is there a separate one for noise pollution? I'm sure that... There we go, noise pollution. So we don't really have any noise pollution here, but if you just take a normal highway, for example, spreads out either side. So really you would want maybe commercial. You know, close to it, because you don't want residents over there. So if I pause it for a second. If I base it off that then, commercial. If I just drop commercial in the hot spots of where the highway runs along. There we go. And just fill this up there. That huge nice little strip as commercial. We'll do some offices here to kind of be the buffer for the commercial. Because obviously you get your own kind of... we'll do some more offices here and here. You get your own kind of noise from commercial. And then with that being the buffer, we can then place high density residential. And there's going to be quite a bit of it, boys. There's going to be quite a bit of it. Now over here, this little sticky out bit there, I want to create a nice little tourist trap. So we'll do the residential up to there. So there will be stuff over here for these guys in the residential buildings. So that's quite a lot to get thrown in, isn't it? It definitely is. So if I ran some power lines just there, in the hopes that that will be enough or close enough to power those guys up. Now what I like the most is I haven't really messed with the natural terrain, so you will see, like, with it kind of, you know, drops down here. If in this area has buildings all the same size, some would appear taller because technically they're on a higher landscape, which is going to be pretty sweet. So super demand enabled. If you don't know why I've got it enabled at this point, it's solely because we got to the point in the game where we just can't progress any further because the natural growth slows down. because the game limits out when you get so many population. So we've had to enable it so we can cause some type of growth in the city to build something as crazy and as elaborate as what we're doing today. So will that all pass over? Yeah, okay, it's all connected up. So it's got power. The buildings are slowly coming together, but then we need to add stuff in to cause just the general growth. Those buildings all here have been the same. Kind of look dope, don't they? And they're all the same in that little square. But we need to stimulate them leveling up. So stuff like we're going to need services. So I want to go for the big enforcer tower. And it would be nice to put it in places where it's close to the highway to kind of like make it look very dominant over it. But not too mental. So I think I'm going to place it here. That's a nice little tall building to throw in there. I don't really have any tall fire stations, but I'm going to go for that Detroit one because it kind of fits in wonderfully. I'll just place that down below just there. So that handles the fire to a certain extent over that way. Hospitals then. I want the big university hospital. And I've got to figure out then. Actually, it might not actually work. Oh, it could work, but it'll have to be on a place where we don't have all the. Now let's just go for the Life Center Hospital because that's also a very tall building. And I'll place that just here. So very nice big tall buildings. It's right on the bend there. So as all these buildings around, they look quite out of place and quite tall. But these will eventually grow over time. So that's going to be the cool thing about it. And at some point then we should see vehicles turning off and then coming down here. It's going to be glorious, boys. So the vehicles at the moment are simply just the service vehicles. So we need to handle the death care as well. So I think for now, why don't I place a couple of crematoriums just kind of out the way. Or at least just one for now. Just slightly out the way. That should be good. Oh, did I get any zoning in that little section? No, I didn't. Right, can I use that to my advantage then? Is there a park that would fit in there perfectly? Oh, yes. Well, I won't say perfectly, but it definitely fits in. Definitely fits in. So yeah, I need more stuff like that then to increase the leisure, to cause them to upgrade a little bit more as well. So is there any particular buildings I could squeeze in? Like, forget all that for like, we got the Life and Death Fountain. Because I've used a lot of them for the IT cluster. So is there anything I can get away with? We have the big boy aquarium. Now that'll be a nice squeeze just there. Academic library. That's part of the old town in a way. See, that could be a good shout as well if I squeeze it maybe up here. Kind of create little landmark areas. And a little pyramid thing. Where could that go? Over here I do park stuff that will kind of fit it all in. But I want like huge landmarks that people know about in these areas. So why don't I squeeze this one in there? Looks a bit weird, but you got those strong landmarks from a bird's eye view and stuff like that. Right, so vehicles are coming in there. And we can already see a slight issue here just with the traffic lights. That's all it simply is. So get rid of them. And then they should just continue to flow in. Which would be great. So people are using this side of the highway for the first time. And obviously we only really have one entry point in here, which is this here. So this might be overused from the beginning. But as time naturally progresses, we should see some slight changes. Well, hopefully anyway. Now, does this allow them to kind of go, like, use it as a roundabout? If they're going up here and wanted to come back down, if they turn off here, went round, that goes that way. That one comes around there. They could turn off there, go up and round. Yeah, oh yeah, it could. It could be used as a roundabout. That's sweet, then. I'm not saying that I want them to use it as a roundabout, but just in case, because until I get like another turn off over here, maybe somewhere. The options are kind of there. Now, they're also coming from this angle as well, this direction. So slowly moving in. We're going to see a lot of traffic until the initial traffic has moved in, if that makes sense. But let's see what we can get in terms of parks and leisure activities then. So we have a dog park, which would be a nice little squeeze. I want large ones to fill in these little gaps. So what will go in? That's too big. It's a bit too small. It's a bit too big as well. No, it's too small. Tropical garden. Don't really have stuff that big, do we, really? It's park maintenance building. Nah, okay, so we'll just kind of go with what we can go with them. Oh no, hold on. Where is it? Hold on. I gotta think right now. You know, like baseball courts and stuff like that? Where are those? I always forget where those are placed. Ah, there we go. Or basketball courts, anyway. So we have the track and field building. The tennis courts. Yeah, these are a little bit too big. Or can we get away with... Oh, we can get away with one of these. Alright, drop one of them there. What was that? The tennis... Is it a tennis club? Yeah, tennis club. Basketball court. You want stuff like this. And I'll pull it there. I'll pull it here. So it only affects the side there, but we keep those buildings in. Something like that's a little bit too big. This is all tourism leisure stuff. Oh, tourism leisure stuff, yeah. So we have the riding stable. We have a skate park, an inner city skate park. That sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? Right, we'll put that on the corner as well, just so we can like bump up the leisure in the area. That's all like peery stuff. That's beach volleyball stuff that we don't have the need for that just yet. But let's put a plaza in on this side somewhere. That's a bit bigger, so I'll squeeze in that there. And I'll put a plaza on this side as well. Squeeze that in there. So it takes advantage more of the edge of that as well. So a few little bits in here and there, and we'll just slowly start seeing more upgrades. Right, okay, so I think now this traffic light here is causing some slowdowns. But it's one of those things, I've only got really one turn off. So why don't I make it... So, okay, this is what can be my experiment to see what would happen if I created something over here. So let me just... Right, let me just humour myself, guys. Let me humour myself. Why can't I do a... There we go. And 4 by 4, 4 by 4. So all this is to do, guys, is to just humour me. Well, I know it's a bit mental, that, but... Well, that's not on the... Drag... And if we go bam to bam, and then is that the right one to, yeah. Whoa, why did it go so high up there? What are you doing? Boy. Alright, please don't include a tree. Why did he go so high up on that side? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Right, if I deselect that... Right, and we go from... What in the world? Oh, is it because it's selecting... Right, let me undo that. Right, okay, we'll do it manually because that is now getting a little bit out of hand. I don't exactly know what has gone on there. But sometimes just doing it manually is just the easiest way to do things. No, apparently not. There is something there that I can't quite register. Right, same level as that going through. Right. But at this point, let's angle it from there to there. Right, you're still not doing what I want you to do, but it's okay. We're slightly getting somewhere now. So from there to there, okay. Even though this is only a temporary structure, we're still gonna make it look nice. So yeah, this will be my little tester. Because obviously vehicles coming up here, going down to there. I just want to see exactly what happens. It's all I want to do. So we're just also giving that additional little turn off here to get traffic into the downtown area, so we can alleviate this for a moment. It's because it's the initial traffic moving in, so it'll take a moment before people register. They can go down here. Oh, right, I see some issues here straight away. So, why is that a 4 lane? Oh no, a 3 lane. Okay. Right, can that go into a... That goes straight on. So we'll treat that as going that way. That there. 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 At least they can sort themselves out. A little bit sooner. Definitely. I mean, it happens over there as well. You can tell. They go. I just noticed a few. They go straight and then turn over at the very last minute. So, yeah. So hopefully that little backlog will sort itself out. That's fine. The turn off here. So even when there's nothing on this side, it shows you that this, a turn off there would be beneficial. That would be, but again, we just got to wait to filter it all in. So it will take some time, but we've got time at the moment, guys. We've got legit time. So this is quite cool then. So it is slowly building itself up, which is nice. Very nice. Now, how many university students do we have over here? So we could potentially build another university over here at some point. Maybe lay it down there. And then we can include another sports stadium so they can go head to head. It will be kind of like a rivalry. That would be pretty sweet as well. That would be. That definitely would be. So yeah, vehicles turned off there. And obviously if I had turned off here as well for this bridge going across, and there as well, 2 additional turn-offs there, which could filter in more traffic as well. So it creates another route to get off the highway. And the reason I did, that's the reason why I made this elevated over. So we had that little turn-off there, which sorts out them guys, and then they get filtered into the center. So, we try. I'm trying to make it as efficient as possible. So that's my future plans to get that all up and running. And yeah, it's just literally now just like the waiting game while we wait for them to all kind of slowly move in. So if that was the case, I don't know whether or when I should add in the public transport system. Because it's just one of them things. But what I can do is get the rest of the zoning of the roads up. So that's something I can do. So if I went the same distance, I went 20. Where, to a certain extent here, it's following the same rules. But obviously, you have to change in some areas. We've somehow created a bridge on that one. So I don't know how that's happened. And with the same, I haven't even changed any settings there, and that does that. So would I go up to there? Or do you reckon that is then technically too close? I don't know. It's a tough one. But up by another 20 to where it would go. So business as usual, and I think that's as far as we then take the grid. There we go. Just sort that out. So obviously this one here I can't do the full shebang because we have that building there. Same goes on for here. But that's what adds the character to the city. And from this little section here we'll kind of make something up or whatnot. But it allows you to filter in. Okay, so we don't actually have a full square in any of those. That's pretty cool. I like that. I do kind of like that effect. So they're slowly getting in right now. The flow's not as bad anymore. Back up, it's slowly depleting. But I don't know whether now, because that's a lot more people turning off here as well. This has sorted itself out for now. This is something that we have to keep an eye on as well and slowly upgrade as time goes on. But yeah, nice. Okay. Okay. Now, in terms of a subway, I'm probably going to want a loop here. and then 2 lines maybe running off that merge into one and go parallel. So do you know what? I will add it in. I will add it in. So we're going to have one there. I'll place it here. And I want to do this quite often because we're going to have a lot of stops. One there. And then I'll do this one if I can get it to turn. Well, I'll put it there anyway. We'll get that one just there. To then have this one there. That one there. Ooh. Okay, this one's going to have to be placed a little bit differently. There. And then that is set up for a subway line. So you can see it runs a lot. I won't add one there, because if they're here, they can either walk that way or walk that way. But the reason I got so many of us so often, because if you're there and you wanted to get to here or there's a stop for you, if that makes sense. Have them a little bit more frequent, because I'm not bothered about. I mean, you're not going to make money, so why does it matter? I'm just going to make it a little bit more efficient. Not efficient. What's the word? I don't know what the word is, but you know what I mean. So I'll have this one in for now. And then maybe we can then encourage a line to come off here up that way. One to come off there that way. 2 separate lines that run both sides. That maybe meet in the middle here as it kind of crosses over. So we'll see how that rolls. Now we have to set the line up. So we'll do the one going this way first. I don't know if it will go the full distance because not all the stations have power yet. But then we create a new line going the opposite way. There we go. So we'll just see how that goes. And obviously in the process of doing that, the traffic build-up's only up to here now. So everyone is almost eventually moved in. And it's just the general traffic that is now passing through. Oh, deaf and garbage. Okay, so... Oh, wait, the def's not... Oh, I was going to say, we had def in, but it's not powered. So let's get some garbage situation sorted. And we'll go for the large recycling centre. I know it's not ideal for what we've got going on, but it's just for now until we get this area up and running. So already we got deaf and garbage needs. Not doing your job correctly. And alright, sweet. So lots of residents, and we should slowly start getting the ding-a-linging upgrades. But we do need to then sort out some areas in terms of zoning. For example, if I built like a small IT cluster area in here, and let's say I chose a bit bigger. Let's say I chose this area here as being our IT cluster. That means we get some beautiful styled, beautiful sized skyscrapers going up here. Which would be pretty dope. So Lynch Heights. I know we built that IT cluster recently before as well. But I gotta do it over here, haven't I? I always forget where you do the IT cluster. Is that the one? Yeah. So there's a smaller one over here, so you get some really big buildings. And that would look really, really good with those really tall buildings on this cityscape of the highway running through the middle. It'll also power then these 2 subway stops, which would be pretty cool too. So the initial subway stops that we've got going on, where is one? There is one just here. So people are already using them. You'll see more get used by the ones in the residential area. Yeah, 66. Ooh. And I take it all these guys here on their way to go into the subway stop too. Yes, they are. So it will slowly come together. Look at them tall buildings, boys. Those are some tall buildings. Damn. And I can then zone a bit of commercial. To fill in that little gap there. And that's how the city slowly grows for us. So there's still going to be a lot of zoning that we need to do. But this is literally going to be a very, very tall downtown-y vibe area. And, I mean, just from the feel of it and looks of it, there's not how much traffic, is there, weirdly enough. Now, I don't know whether that's because people are still moving in. There's still a lot of vehicles turning off there. Still a lot trying to get down here as well. So I don't know whether it kind of, you know, relates to that. Seeing as this is the out road, I could do a little road that comes down here and connects to that to kind of get out that way. And maybe come down here to connect to there. So they haven't got to drive around and cause that traffic issue. But we'll see how it goes. It's just still the initial traffic. You've got to give it a while to kind of die down. But that's interesting, boys. That's definitely interesting. Anybody getting off this subway stop yet? No. Haven't got those needs just yet. So one last thing I do want to add in. And that is a car park or two. The nice big multi-story ones. And that's how you know you're in a downtown area. You've got these multi-story car parks. So I think one will be good just there. One will be good just there. Yeah, I think those would be okay for now. Near the landmarks. And we'll just see how it goes. But it's positive from the get-go. What's the traffic like over on these? Now, I do have to set up the lane management. I have to do that, but because they're turning from the outside lane in. That's not great. You shouldn't be doing that, boys. But we'll do that another time. When we start to get more traffic coming through, then we'll kind of play around with it. It's not our main issue at the moment, but it's definitely not right. Yeah, so like I said, we need something here. So maybe I do turn traffic lights back on, but it's all flowing in beautifully. So it's like, do you want to mess around with that kind of stuff? Or do we wait till we got this set up there because they could be using or down here to go somewhere? Or I also have to wait for get these set up as well. So I don't think I'd do anything with this yet until I have this turn off set up. These two turn offs here set up as well. And then once we got those, we kind of covered all our bases with like on and off ramps. And then we'll see where we go. Because eventually we're going to have one over here somewhere to enter from this angle. So again, it's just... Until we got those in, you can't really judge this one because it's the main one at the moment. It is the main one. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's a good start. It's a very good start. Anyone using this now? 9 people. So a couple of peeps are heading to work. But yeah. If you've got any suggestions on what I should add in, let me know in the comment section down below. They've got a long way to level up. We need to place in schools and stuff as well. That's something else that we're kind of missing. But guys, until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.